All right, so sharing my experience with two interviews for AI startup companies. And this may not come of a surprise to many, but it is important to think critically in these situations because there's a thing that is the same as when you're on a fast and you're fasting, and then the smell of a whole chicken being roasted comes beautifully under your nose. That is capital to the unemployed man, or to the man making less than the capital entices them to make. And basically, just getting right into it. Took a call, big company, big-ish company, let's call it 250 employees, wanting to triple their headcount. Massive cash injection from a bunch of, let's be honest, Saudi, no US dollars are going in there, right? The US dollars that are going into these companies, they've already been put in, okay? So, Ben Horowitz, Mark Andreessen, he's already put in the dough, okay? He's not putting it anymore, right? So, guys that have cleft palates, guys that are missing a leg at birth. Again, I'm not hating on these guys. I'm just being kind of accurate. Guys whose money comes out of the ground, right? So when you walk outside and you look in the ground, there's money there now, okay? And you can take it and it will be replenished. Those guys is money now, right? So that's now been put into the economy. And that's really where these companies are, right? They have those people's money. So they have a lot. And they want to triple headcount. And this company, not going to name names, did a little interview. And you as a little schmuck pawn, a little fish looking for food in the river, in the ocean, find it. And, can smell the food, right? And so basically, you go in with a hungry and excited mindset because you look at that dollar amount, right? And let's just call it what it is here, folks, because let's be informative. It's 300K, it's 350K, it's 400K, right? It's a lot of money, right? And if you aren't used to making that kind of money, you think that that type of money will change your life, right? And it won't. It really won't, because once you have made that kind of money and you look at the math and you feel what it is to earn that and you understand the gold rush town dynamics, where really quickly here, if you were in 1840 and you moved to California to a massive gold town, a big gold rush town, understand that rent there wouldn't be cheap. Okay, it would be very expensive. So you have two options. One is sacrifice your quality of life massively, live in a stable, right, where cows live and horses, or spend the money, right, which lowers your transaction capability and your ability to save and make wealth, which is the whole reason you're there, and hope that you get lucky, right? Those are the two things. And so with this situation, focusing back on what I was talking about, the interview's there, that's how much money it is, and you're looking for reasons why. Essentially, what a noob would do, or somebody who hasn't made that kind of money and who just thinks whatever, is, I need this job, I need to convince this person that this job is for me and I really want it so that I can get that money into my account. And I don't give a fuck. Tell me how high to jump, right? And what I'm saying is that mindset is exactly the mindset that you have been taught to have. And it's not the worst mindset until you realize that you will be essentially a slave. And I really mean it to be that, because you will suffer. They will own your ass cheeks. They will own when you poop, when you sleep, when you get a hit of dopamine, when you don't. Your family and friends will get an earful of your terrible, awful, suffering life every fucking day, and they will hate you because of it. And your money account will rise much less than you think it will, and you basically will be given pain and suffering and mental OCD as an effect, right? And just like if you were paid a lot of money to row a boat, your arms and legs would get tired, and if you weren't able to rest and recoup, you would essentially row to the point of an injury. That happens in these environments to your brain. Okay, you develop something called OCD, okay, obsessive compulsive disorder, and you develop burnout, and you develop these symptoms because you're under immense stress. And it's extremely, extremely bad. And it gets worse the more it goes on, and it takes longer to recover from it. And when I say longer to recover from it, I don't mean 3 months, I don't mean 6 months, I mean potentially 3 years to potentially 10 years, okay? And I'm talking like so bad you have to sell all your things and become a shaman in the woods, okay? Or get into like being a TV star or something. Like, it's extremely bad. It's just very destabilizing and will take your life on a different path. Okay, that's the risk of it. You'll have a midlife crisis at 23. Okay, and that's the reality. So, anyways, back to what you should be looking for in these environments. Okay, I need you guys reading the facial expressions, reading the nonverbal cues, reading the energy that is coming from that person that's on that little screen there, and realize very quickly that that shit matters a fuck ton. And you have to go against your people pleasing or respect or typical social grace. And you need to, not let it completely fuck you and say something terrible or make a, quick decision, but you need to be very careful. And so these are not things that are off days, right? So if you're clinically, if you look basically at 2 p.m. like you are, I'm just going to say it, a Holocaust victim, or you look extremely tired, extremely burnt out, you have no energy when you talk about it, it means that you're being pulled away from a job that sucks dick. And the thought of bringing more people into it is not good. That's what you're seeing. And so, what are things to look for? No candor whatsoever in the beginning, right? No, hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up? Where are you from? Where are you based? Oh, the weather's been nice, right? Because you have no time for that, right? You have no time for simple grace. And when you have no time for simple grace, you have no humanity. And when you have no humanity, you have abuse. And when you have when you have abuse, motherfucker, you have symptoms, okay? And those symptoms fucking compound and you are flatlined, okay? So that's number one. Number two is you need to read these nonverbal fucking cues, man. You need to read scratching the back of the neck when you're thinking, out of breath easily, right? Because reading the words that you're talking about, because of course these people are reading things off of a screen, they can't actually just talk normally. And keep in mind, these people that you're talking to are supposedly the best and the brightest the country have to offer, right? These are engineering managers. These are production managers. These are people that are the highest level authority of working professionals, right? These are people that would have been doctors and lawyers and things. They're now engineering managers. That's reality. They don't really know what the fuck's going on, but they know enough and they're smart enough and they have a high enough, like, G factor to quickly learn the ropes, and they use a pedigree to leverage themselves into these positions. And if that motherfucker is fucked, right? If that kind of person is fucking brought down to the depths of suffering, then where do you think you're gonna be, dude? Right? You're an engineer. You're the guy who actually makes shit work. You make things from 0 to 1. That's your job. Good luck, bud. You're fucking tossed in seconds where you ride it out and they own your butt the entire fucking time. So, yeah. That's the reality. And, it's hard, man. When you get into these uncomfortable situations, it's hard. It's hard to navigate. It's hard to convince these people. It's hard to not just say what you're thinking, which is that you're fucking nuts and you definitely made a bad decision. And if you have family and kids, then they're impacted by this decision. And yeah, it'll give you cancer, dude. It'll give you some really bad side effects. Bad. And this is the reality of the system, which is capital, right, becomes God, and spending becomes prayer. Okay? And so when you pray, you talk to God. It's free, right? It's enriching. You hand your problems to the Creator, He takes them away, and you live your life the best you can, right? And that's your life algorithm. Very hard to profit, right? But of course, you can bring institutions in, you can bring capitalism in, you can force the ability to prayer by needing to pay for it, okay? And extrapolate more, abstract more, and you get to where we are now, which is paying for something feels like a dopamine hit because you're praying to the god of money and to the god of quality of life to improve your life. So when you get a BMW loan, right, or sorry, a lease, right, you have a $900 lease, you will owe a lot of money on that vehicle. I can guarantee you those wheels, each of those tires are gonna be, they aren't gonna write that off the end. They're going to fucking charge you for that shit. That feels good. And driving around in the world, it feels good. And what I am here to say is that is channeling the devil. And it has been the biggest swindle of this country and of whoever the fuck is in charge, which don't want to go too far there. You can fill in the gap of who would make these types of decisions. Let's just keep it at people who have no reason to not abstract, right? Because abstraction is the whole fucking thing that certain people do and others don't, right? People who are interested in abstracting are people that are interested in exploiting, and exploitation is unnatural. So, anyways, you have to be very careful, and you have to understand what is out here, and you have to understand that we are in a bubble, we are in a craze, and we are witnessing the power of capital, transnational capital, in a way that is not coherent, right? It's not. AI, LLMs, making everything a chat agent is not first principles. It's not, right? First principles are physics, right? Physics has been defunded, right? People don't do physics now, right? They do abstraction, technology, and finance. That's what they do, right? And that is a problem. But that is the symptom of a larger problem, and that's the world we live in currently. So when you do these interviews, man, be very fucking careful, right? Because this is the last thing I'm going to say as it gets practical, or as it relates to practical advice. If you make $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 for 1 year, that is less money. Oh, sorry, 500 for a year, and then you want to put a shotgun in your mouth, or you literally are so fucked every single day when you wake up, your body tells you, don't get up, don't go on that computer, it's bad, the devil's in there, something's bad in there, that guy wants to hurt you, right? All these things, and you're sitting there fucking doing the things, right? Instead, your body says, right, get the fuck out of there. Dip, 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 run. Get the fuck out, man, run. Right? That's going to happen. So you either have an insane tolerance for not listening to your body or your mind, or whatever, or you, fucking dip, and basically you make less money for more time, right? So you make 220 and you chill the fuck out. You make, get lucky, bro, 250 and you chill the fuck out, man. Or you get into investing, or you get into something that makes fucking sense. Yeah, that's just the reality. And, that's just what the Bay Area is. That's what these startups are. That's what this whole system is. And you're either about it and you understand the relationship and you get alignment, or you don't and you are taken advantage of massively, right? And that's, I think, the key is they didn't tell me that people would take advantage of you. They didn't say that, right? That wasn't something that they said. They said that you can move to California. If you're cracked out of your mind and you're super fucking good at what you do, you can make a lot of money and you can work hard, and, it's going to be fun because you're working on dope shit, and that's what it is. Sign me the fuck up, dude. Okay? I'm really good at what I fucking do because it's all I do every day, forever. You don't even have to pay me. It's just what I want to do. I like creating. I'm that guy. But now you're putting me in a situation where I've figured out the system, and the system is exploitative, or whatever. The system is bad. The system is causing me suffering. and causing a lot of people suffering. Well, now I don't want to do this anymore because it's very toxic. And so what do? How do you navigate it? And I've just said there what you do, and it's that you look for the clues, you look for the signs, and you realize that your mental health and your body matter, okay? And that making a bunch of money, and keep in mind here, we're not even talking about life-changing money because you're just a ditch digger, right? You're just a little gold panner. You don't own the fucking company. You don't have shit, right? You're a fucking ditch digger. You make more than, 80, 90% of the country, but you are a fucking ditch digger. And guess what, bud? The whole economy in which you reside in order to wake up every day and ditch dig, it's scaled to your earning rate. Okay? And unless you have, unless you're born into it, or you get really, really fucking lucky, and then at that point, you're basically born into it because you're born with a very high IQ, very high agency, and very high creativity or whatever. You're never going to get into that next piece where you're owning things. It doesn't happen. Okay? So, I'm not even saying you're not those things. You may be those things, but understand that's what this is. And understand you have to be very fucking careful on how you navigate this stuff. That's it. Bye.